All right, welcome everyone to this episode of Your Business in HD. I am your host, Jen Dice, human design coach and marketing strategist for entrepreneurs, growing companies, and teams. I'm going to talk to you guys today about how human design can be leveraged for aligned offer creation, because we hear all the time about human design, uncovering your human design, knowing your type, living your type, but how do you tangibly start leaning into your design a little bit to make some of these decisions in your business, especially when it comes to offer creation in your business? So this is all kind of coming from inspiration from multiple clients that I've worked with. And also just to kind of help give you some inspiration if you're tuning into this on what your next steps could be, versus kind of staying and sticking around, like hanging out in that cloud of what you should do next when it comes to that offer creation in your business. So this, let's say, like, for example, hypothetically, from a business perspective, let's say that you are looking at creating an offer, and this offer in your business makes sense because it fits in with your offer ladder, right? It makes logical sense because it fits in with your customer journey. So there is a spot for it on the quote unquote traditional offer ladder. So it makes sense. So from a logical perspective, you can see how this makes sense. But let's say, for example, with this particular offer, let's say you've got some high ticket offers going. You've got maybe a more of a higher ticket group offer, some one-to-ones. And this offer you're looking at is a lower ticket membership, let's say, a lower ticket offer. So it's going to require your time, your energy to show up, but it is a step on the offer ladder that could help, that just makes sense for your clients and your customers to progress through. But let's say you're looking at this, you're looking at the creation aspect of it, you're looking at it for your business, and you're going back and forth. And you're wondering, like, should I do this or should I not do this? And this is something I hear from clients all the time. When it doesn't matter what the offer is, it doesn't matter what your business is or where you're at in business. This is a question that comes up all the time. So I've had a particular client too, where, recently she was going back and forth on a very similar offer to this on what her next best steps were, because it made the most sense for her to do this type of an offer based on the other offers that she already had out there. And so she had all these questions like, what should I do next? Should I or shouldn't I? Not sure. And so when you're facing that too, that is a sign to you that something's just not maybe potentially in alignment with what idea, or whether it's an offer or a client or a different launch model that you're looking at. So what happens when you are in this kind of like circle, or this loop of thinking, of going around and around? Should I do this? Should I not? I could do this, but what about this? Or I could do that, but what about that? You are pretty much staying in place. You're not taking action, and you don't have clarity on what your next steps should be. So with this particular client, and what I do with a lot of my clients, is we walk through this process of eliminating some of these external pieces, these external factors. So the external factor here is, this is my offer ladder. I have this, this, and this, but there's a spot right here that I could create something for. So it makes the most logical sense. Those are external factors. Your offer ladder is an external factor. What makes the most logical sense, what you think you should be doing, those are all external factors. There are other people giving you input on what your next step should be. Your business mentors, your coaches, the courses that you're in, telling you what you should do next. Those are all external factors. You can take them into consideration, but when you're really trying to lean into your human design to figure out what's right for you with those next best steps, you're going to eliminate that. So what I do with my clients, and what I did with her, was just have her eliminate like the thought process of, this makes sense, I should do this, so and so said I should do that, quieting your mind. So make sure you're quieting your mind, and then getting clarity on what her next steps were. So walking through my signature processes and how I help people kind of eliminate the external, tune into the internal and your inner guidance. In her case, she was able to actually come out of that with clarity and confidence on what her next best steps were. And she knew in an instant what the next right thing was for her. And how would that work, or how would that help you in the business that you're creating and the offers that you're looking at creating. How would it feel to look at an offer, to look at something, to look at an opportunity that's coming up in your business and know how to tune out the noise, how to tune into your human design, and how to leverage that in a way that you were able to, number one, make the decision with clarity and confidence, knowing that this is the next right best step for you, and then take action on that. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. And I'll walk you through some of the things that I walked her through with this process, and that I walk most of my clients through with this process, whether it's an offer, whether it's a client, whether it's a launch, whether it's a marketing strategy or content or anything that they have coming up. So that's what we're going to dive into. And if you guys are completely brand new to the podcast or to this show, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Jen Dice, and I'm a human design coach and marketing strategist, physical therapist turned entrepreneur, turned Pinterest marketer, turned human design strategist. So I kind of pull in that blend of not just helping others and helping others on their journey as a physical therapist, but then also helping others through their marketing strategy, organic strategy through Pinterest, and now blending that marketing strategy with the mindset and the internal work and the internal shifts that you can also bring to this using human design. So what are we talking about today? We are talking about how human design can be leveraged for aligned offer creation. So let's break this down. And if you were somebody that was coming to me asking for clarity on, should I do this? Should I create this offer? Should I do this offer? I'm not sure what to do. I know what's going to be required of me to create this next offer. So what are my next best steps? How do I use my human design to help me know what my next best steps are? So here is what I walked her through. Here's what I walk my clients through. And here's what I want you to do with this process. So let's break this down. So number one, I want you to ask yourself, first and foremost, when you're looking at a particular offer, ask yourself, why are you considering this idea? Why are you considering this offer? Like, how did this idea come to be? Is it something where it's purely logical and you're looking at your offer ladder and it's like, this makes the most sense because I have high ticket, I have freebies, I maybe have like a low ticket mini course or something like that. And so now I'm looking for that next step in this offer ladder. Is that kind of your reasoning behind that? Or is it something a little bit beyond that, where it's just like, this feels like the next right step for me because of XYZ? So answer that question first. Number one is, why are you considering that idea? Because when you ask yourself why, that is important, because you're able to understand the underlying motivation, drive, or reasoning why this offer is in front of you. And you could also likely uncover some reasons why you might be hesitating on it. You might be struggling with what your next steps are. So when you ask yourself why, other questions are going to come up. So make sure that you kind of first and foremost ask yourself that question, like, why is this idea in front of you? So in her case, or in this case, that a lot of times I hear is like, it just makes the most sense. Logically, this is what I was told to do, or it just makes sense because I have XYZ already in place. The second question I want you to kind of ask yourself, the second step that we walk through, is tuning out the external input or validation. Many of us are driven on external validation, where we are looking at numbers, we're looking at data, we're looking at the likes on our Facebook posts, we're looking at the engagement, we're looking at the income coming in, we're looking at what other people are telling us, we're looking at what makes the most logical sense. All of that is external. It holds validity in helping you make decisions, but from a human design perspective, 98% of us, most of us, are not designed to make decisions based on logic. We are designed to make decisions based on our own unique inner authority, our own human design authority. And each of us has a different way that you can tune into this, depending on what your human design type is and what your human design authority is. So when you take away the external, you are quieting your mind. You are grounding yourself a little bit back into yourself, because when you're all up in your head and you're all up in the logic, you're almost out of your body in a way where you are just not really grounded and centered and like tuning into yourself. And so when you tune out the noise, you're able to hear your own self speak, if that makes sense. You're able to tune out what your coaches are telling you. You're able to tune out what you think you should do. You're able to tune out your ego for a little bit and tune into that inner voice, that inner guidance, and tune into, for her specifically, walking her through the steps of, okay, this is your human design type. This is how we're going to tune in. This is your authority. Here are the steps we're going to go through to tune back into that authority, and taking a few breaths and then re-asking the question. So the second step is really tuning out the noise, however you feel to do this. With clients in sessions, I can help them walk through that process. Or if you're on your own at home, you can do journaling, you can do meditation, you could go outside and just quieting your mind, just stepping away from the places where you tend to be like going around and around with some of these logic-based, these going around and around in your thoughts in your mind, right? So stepping away, quieting your mind, and tuning into your authority. Okay. And then when you tune into that authority, the third step is revisiting the question, revisiting the offer itself. And with this particular client, we kind of quieted everything down. We tuned back into her authority. And then I asked the question again, how does it feel to you to go forward with this particular offer? Even though it makes the most sense for your offer ladder, even if though, everybody else is telling you this is what you should do if you want to be successful, if you want to make money, if you want to you should do it this way. How does it feel to you when you eliminate all of that? How does that particular offer and what you described to me and what it was going to require of you, how does it feel to you? Are you excited about it? Are you like more motivated than ever? Or are you really stepping back and saying, you know what, this isn't the right fit for me? And that's where you get the clarity, is when you can tune out the noise and you can tune into your human design and leverage your authority. And for this particular, in this situation with her, she got that instant clarity and was like, that idea sounds terrible, horrible. I don't want anything to do with it when I reframe it completely. And so when you have that sense of clarity, understand like, this is how this really feels, like that resistance she was going around and around with was coming from her. And that's usually where many of us feel that resistance coming up. And we still use our thoughts and we try to go through our mind and we try to make things make logical sense. When we feel that resistance coming up, that is a sign, that is a flag that there's something here, that this decision, this offer, this client, this launch, this whatever is not in alignment for me in some way, shape, or form. Maybe it's just a matter of revisiting the idea, the offer, the client, the project, the packet, whatever, and refining it a little bit until it makes a little bit more sense. But in and of itself, the idea in which she was looking at taking action on and investing her time, her energy, and ultimately like income, because time, you put your time and energy, there's an opportunity cost to that, right? So by understanding like, this is not the next best step for me, I'm not going to waste my time and energy on it. I'm going to go revisit something else or just let it go for now. And how much does that save you if you were in her shoes? How much would that save you from a business perspective, from a sanity perspective, from a family perspective? Because you're not pouring your energy into the wrong freaking things in your business because somebody told you should. And so that's kind of where, when you're tuning into your human design, it helps you get that clarity and make those decisions with crystal clear confidence and get out of your head and tune into you and what you and your heart and soul truly desire to do, the work you truly are put here to do and desire to do for your clients through your business, to help you continue to walk towards that bigger mission and that bigger purpose in the work that you're doing. So that ultimately is was the end goal, but this is how you can leverage your human design. Human design you're tuning into yourself, and many of us get tons of ideas. We're entrepreneurs, so we have ideas flowing all the time of I could do this, I could do that, I could do this, I could offer that. But it's understanding how to tune into yourself so that you make the right decisions and say yes to creating the right offers and no to creating the wrong offers. Because if you think about it, had she gone forward with that offer that made logical sense for her offer letter, for her business, she might have ended up frustrated, tired, burned out, and not knowing what to do next. So that's just one example of how you can leverage your human design for that offer creation. You could also tune into it to then, maybe it's just not that container, it's just not the right container. So how can you come back and leverage it and look at it in a different way, or refine the offer, or restructure it so that it feels better to you, or it feels like more in alignment to you. And that's kind of the power of running things through your filter before you take action, and knowing with just that crystal clear confidence that this is not right for me. I don't have to explain it to anybody, but I just know it's not right for me right now. So I'm going to hit pause and I'm going to go back and look at it, or I'm going to let it go and release it. And then by doing that, you clear space in your mind. You're not going over that idea 100 times a minute in your head anymore. You're not worried about it. You're not wasting energy on it. So the next idea could then hit you in that day, or you could come up with another idea, or another opportunity could come your way because you said no to something that wasn't in alignment for you, which ultimately creates more space in your life for the right things. So, all right. I hope this was helpful. If this whole scenario brought up more questions than answers for you guys, then I'm going to include a link for how you can just uncover a little bit more about your human design. And you can also look at ways that you can get started with your human design, start applying it here and there. So click the link that comes with this video, and that will walk you through your next steps to getting started with your human design. And then, of course, if you have questions at all, I am on the other end, just an email away. You can reach out to me and ask me personally your human design questions. But thank you again so much for joining me, guys. And I will see you next time on the next episode of Your Business in HD.